Here are some Get Real facts right from the headlines. The Sarasota Herald Tribune's Inside Real Estate reports a tight supply of existing homes for sale has pushed more buyers towards new construction products, a segment of the housing market that is now showing its best signs of life in 6 years. Sarasota luxury sales got rolling again in March with 40 homes and condos changing hands for a total of $72.1 million and an average price of $1.8 million per dwelling. Tonight, we'll talk with two companies benefiting from the real estate rebound. Our first guest has been involved in Suncoast real estate for close to 30 years. They work with builders, architects, and homeowners, and just expanded their business in a big way. Plus, we'll hear from one of the best known and well-respected new home builders in our region. Get Real Estate on the Suncoast starts now. Welcome to Get Real Estate on the Suncoast, the only local television show dedicated to one of the top economic drivers in our region, real estate. Joining us now is Bob Smith. He is the co-owner of Universal Window Solutions, and they just expanded their business in a very, very big way right here in Sarasota. So you just opened a brand new design center and a brand new building. Tell me a little bit about that.
We did. Recently, my brother and I purchased a 25,000 square foot building. We did some pretty extensive remodeling. We turned the 25,000 square foot building into a 10,000 square foot design center, and we used the balance of it for a door shop and our distribution of our products and services.
Wow, and you have in this design center a lot of full-size displays. How many do you have? We do.
We have about 175 full-size displays. It ranges from windows and sliding glass doors to custom entryways. We have a new product offering, this James HARDIE siding. It's a pre-finished product that is very, very popular. So it's really an opportunity for people to come and see and touch and feel full-size displays and get a feel for what it is before it's actually installed into their home.
That's great. And let's tell everybody before we go any further where the showroom is, where the design center is.
Yeah, the showroom's located at 2502 81st Place East. It's next to LuxArt on New 301, just north of University Parkway.
Okay. And you own the store with your brother.
We do.
Right?
Yep.
So tell me, why did you and your brother think it was so important to have a design center where people could actually come and see? Because this is pretty state-of-the-art and unusual, isn't it, for the industry?
It is. Well, it's an important decision. Selecting your windows and doors for your project is an important decision. The technology in our industry has changed more in the last 5 years than it has in the last 30 years. The glass technology, the finish of the products, you know, Anderson products now are available in 22 colors, the same price as white. So there's been a lot of changes in the industry, and it's difficult for homeowners to understand by just looking at a catalog what do these products really look like, and I think they appreciate the opportunity to become educated about the products and the services that we provide. Yeah,
absolutely. And so is it, people can just walk in any time of the day?
Sure.
Should they make an appointment, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, it's open to the public. Okay. A lot of times it's better if you can make an appointment so that we can have the right person there to kind of guide you through your project. But it's a very relaxed environment. It's a very low pressure environment. There's no pressure. So we encourage people, if you have a project that you're working on, whether it's a remodeling project, it's a new construction project, bring your builder, bring your architect, come down by yourself and just kind of browse around and ask questions and become educated about what your options are, because there's a lot of options to choose from.
It seems like in your industry it's probably changed a lot over the past few years. Is that
It really
accurate?
has. It's changed because the products that are available to build materials with, so the products have had to become stronger because of the new building codes.
Right.
So 100% of the products that we display are impact rated products.
Wow.
So they meet all the Florida building codes. There's a lot of different materials that are available now. There's a lot of composite materials that are very energy efficient. The composite materials lend themselves to custom colors on the exterior and the interior. The composite materials lend themselves to wood grain finishes. So now you can get a wood grain product. It looks like wood grain on the outside and on the inside, but it's made out of a composite material, so bugs don't eat it, the weather doesn't destroy it, it doesn't twist. And then there's lots of changes in the glass products that make the products, 10 times more energy efficient than they were 15 years ago.
Wow. So now you have 10,000 square feet for the design center, which is pretty big.
It is.
But still, how do you pick and choose what products you're going to display in the design center?
That's a good question. The good thing for my brother and I is that we've been doing this business, selling and installing and servicing windows and doors in this market for 30 years.
Wow.
So we have a pretty good sense by now of what the market is looking for. We know which manufacturers have been around. We know what products stand up over time. And the Florida market's a very, very tough market to make sure that the products withstand this climate. So I think experience is a pretty good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about how you and your brother got involved in the business together.
Sure. Now, my brother was a Florida State Trooper 30 years ago.
Wow.
And the first job I took out of college was selling and installing windows and doors in this marketplace. So I was able to convince him to come to work for the window company that I was working for, and here we are 30 years later.
That's great. What types of products, I'm sure you carry a ton of different types, but what types of brand names and products can they see at your showroom?
Yeah, we're an Andersen dealer. We've been an Andersen dealer since 1981. Andersen is the world's largest window and door manufacturer. They're renowned for the quality of their products. They're really the innovator. Andersen is the company that invents the technology and everybody else follows behind it. We also, in the Andersen products, we have a full display of every Andersen style and shape and color inside the design center. Okay. We also display PGT products as a locally manufactured product. We're a gold level PGT dealer and really love the PGT brand.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. I've been to the design center. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you also have some really neat windows where the window treatments are actually inside of the windows too, right?
Lots of options. You get blinds between the glass. There's technology now where the glass will reject 46% of the heat before it passes through, but it's virtually clear. So there's a lot of different options that are available that were never available before. You really got to see it to be able to appreciate it.
So you have windows and doors. Which part of your business do you think what do you sell the most of? And tell me a little bit about the door part of the business.
Sure. The door business is an important part of the business for us, and it's one of the things that homeowners really want to come and see. Yeah. Your front entry door really makes a statement for your home. A lot of times what homeowners like to do is they like to have something unique. And one of the ways that we can help them accomplish that is with our door shop. So we can take a door that may be cost effective, but we can start customizing the door with specialty glass, with specialty hardware, stain finishes, shapes, sizes. And because we build the doors in our location in Sarasota, we can control delivery times, we can control the quality. So I think that's a real advantage for us and for our homeowners, and they can come and see the door shop in production and see their doors being built.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that's a huge part of the business, but also after they make their selections and choose what's going in their home, how important is the installation side of it?
Yeah, the installation, we really started as an installation business. Okay. So, and you can buy great products, but if your products are not installed properly, then they're not going to be great products and they're not going to perform, especially when it rains every day. Right. The wind blows 40 miles an hour, and that's even without a wind event or a catastrophic event. Yeah. So yeah, installation is crucial, and we install virtually everything we sell, which makes us a little different. So we're kind of a one-stop shop from windows, sliding glass doors, entry doors, siding, all kinds of related products, and we install all of the products that we sell.
That's great. Yeah. Do you do more remodeling of existing homes, you think, or do you do more working with new homes?
Well, it's interesting because our remodeling business is about 40% of our total sales. 60% of our business is still new construction. But it's really a very similar product, and the selection process is pretty similar. Whether you're putting in an existing opening or you're putting it in a brand new opening, the mechanics of it are similar. But the decision-making process is still just as important. I can't tell you how many times we have somebody visit the design center and they're replacing their windows, and they're replacing them because maybe they weren't involved in the decision. Right. And now the product is failing, and whether it's causing construction damage elsewhere or the product just doesn't work anymore. So the decision of choosing the products in advance and understanding what you're getting, and we understand that every project has a budget, but there's also budgets, and then there's personal preferences. Right. So we can guide people through that and help them understand these are your choices, and this is the budget that you can work in. And we can kind of move back and forth until they find the sweet spot.
Great. So it sounds like really pretty much anyone could benefit from coming and taking a look at your design center.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of visitors. Probably a third of our visitors are architects. And the architects will show up with their homeowners where they're designing the project. And again, a lot of the things that they'll see in our design center you won't even see in catalogs.
Great.
We're redesigning our new website. I would think that by the end of this week, you'll be able to see 175 full-size displays right on our website. So it'll be a great place that you can actually see, get a preview of what you can touch and feel in our design center.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That is great information. And for more information about Universal Window Solutions, stop by their design center or check them out online at universalwindowsolutions.com. Up next on Get Real Estate on the Suncoast, we'll talk with one of the most respected and well-known new home builders in the region. Lee Wetherington joins us from Lee Wetherington Homes. Here's a Get Real fact. Lee Wetherington, founder of Lee Wetherington Homes, has a charitable foundation that recently exceeded the $1 million mark. He's a CEO committed to the Suncoast community and is one of the area's most dedicated philanthropists. Our next guest, Lee Wetherington, grew up in Jacksonville, Florida in a family of builders and has worked in the construction industry for his entire life. After serving in Vietnam with the U.S. Marine Corps, he moved to Sarasota in the 1970s, joining forces with another builder before founding Lee Wetherington Homes. Since that time, Wetherington has dedicated himself to the growth of his company, establishing an enviable reputation as a design-oriented, detail-driven builder of high-quality single-family homes. Thanks so much for joining us, Lee.
Well, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Are
doing
you?
Great.
Good.
As long as the weather's good.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Yeah, right.
So let me ask you, when you started building homes now close to 40 years ago, did you ever think that you would have such a huge home building company and successful company here on the Suncoast?
Well, it wasn't my goal in the beginning. I was more or less going to keep it a smaller company and more detail oriented, and it just over a period of time, there was a following. We picked up a following, and we had the opportunity to go into some different areas and took those opportunities, and it grew. And then right now we're back to a little bit of a smaller company and a little bit more detail oriented and customer service oriented. So that's our focus now.
It seems like anyone who has a Lee Wetherington home becomes a raving fan. What is it about Lee Wetherington Homes that really makes you different and stand out?
Well, we're a custom builder, so we listen to what they want, try to give it to them in a very affordable way, and our key, I think, is service after the sale. I mean, we have great service before the sale. During construction, of course, it's always crazy and emotional and everything, and then after the sale is where we shine. So we go back to homes years and years after they're built and help our clients solve problems and work with them. So usually if you do that, everything's good.
Yeah, absolutely. The company is based out of a beautiful design center in Lakewood Ranch. It's a 12,500 square foot design center where the corporate offices are. Right. Tell me a little bit about the design center and what people can expect there.
Well, if they buy a home from us, what we try to do is we were one of the very first builders to have a design center many, many years ago. And our whole goal was to have people that bought a home from us could come to one spot and not have to shop around at many different places. And we took the work out because we ask all our subcontractors, you know, what product would you put in here if you were putting it in your home? Mm-hmm. And so we wouldn't have problems with it later on. So we focused on, if it's plumbing fixtures, focused on plumbing fixtures that would cause us problems later on. Cabinets, flooring, all the many things that go in a home. And we also have a designer that sits down, and we have a very structured list that we go through to make sure we give them everything they want, and then make sure it gets into the house. And if there's a problem in getting it, or there is a problem, then our goal is to keep solid communication with them.
Great. It definitely shows, and your customers, like I said, are raving fans. So we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you are a dedicated philanthropist here on the Suncoast. Yes. Why is that such a big part of your corporate and personal philosophy?
Well, you know, I started many, many years ago just doing some smaller stuff, and I found out a couple of things. Number one, first of all, it feels good. Yeah, it really does. It feels good. And secondly, having come from a background that, that needed help at times, it became important for myself and the culture to accept this and try to give as much back to the community as we could. So it seems that everything I do seems to grow and get bigger. So every time I do something, somebody else will come along and say, why don't you do this and this and this? And then after years and years and years, we were doing some pretty big projects, and it became a kind of a cultural thing. And it's nice to see the many things that we've done and get recognized for them.
I know you give to a lot of different causes, but what are some of the ones that are close to your heart?
Well, obviously the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work there. I just finished a large remodel of a teen center, as you know.
I saw it, yeah.
Up in Manatee. We're getting ready to start some work on the Lee Wetherington Club. We're just, the foundation paid for the entire painting of the club outside,
wow,
which was a huge project. But the Boys and Girls Club, but there's so many other things that we work on. There's churches that we work with. One of my favorites right now is an organization called Castle, who is really great. They take people that would normally be in institutions and put them in homes. And a couple of years ago, I built a house for them and gave it to them, so to speak.
Wow.
And that was huge.
That's great.
Huge.
All right, so last question.
Okay.
You are kind of like an expert in the real estate market. Predictions for the next 2 to 5 years?
Well, I think what we're going to be facing, unfortunately, is some spiraling price increases. It seems to always be that way in the industry because what's happened is a lot of the manufacturers haven't amped up yet. And they don't want to amp up because they had to lower their prices to the point where they're just barely making money. So they're going to increase their prices now and see and how long the market's going to hold. So we're going to get some really incredible price increases over the next 2 or 3 years. Managing that is going to be very important. And there's also a labor shortage.
Right.
A tremendous labor shortage. And that's got to be filled. And obviously, a lot of our best labor is Hispanic.
Yeah.
So a lot of them went back to Mexico, and whether they come back or not, and not everybody wants to be in the construction business. So although there's plenty of jobs and you can make plenty of money, not everybody wants to do it. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a labor and material shortage we're going to be facing, which is going to make the homes, it's going to be another month or two building the homes, and I think our job is to make sure that our clients know that and be prepared for it.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We actually earlier in the week had a chance to catch up with the Vice President of Sales and Marketing from Lee Wetherington Homes out on site in Lakewood Ranch. So take a look at this with Peter Mason. Hey everybody, we're here in Lakewood Ranch at Country Club East, and I'm with Peter Mason, who's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Lee Wetherington Homes. We're going to go check out this beautiful model. Ready?
Yes, let's go see it.
I'm excited to be talking to you about the market. Sales seem to be great for Lee Wetherington Homes this year. Tell me about that.
It certainly is. Thank you for having me on your show. We're about 40 to 50% ahead of last year's pace of sales, and I think that's from pent-up demand that our northern and midwestern clients are finding that it's the time to buy, and because there's not a lot of inventory for them to choose from, they're seeing that new versus used is really a good bargain. They get current codes and more energy efficiency, and they can pick what they want. So it really is the time to buy.
So you guys are at a lot of different places. Tell me where Lee Wetherington Homes is building and what's coming up for you.
Okay, we're currently here in Lakewood Ranch, Country Club East. We've been in Lakewood Ranch since 1995. We were the first builder chosen to build in the ranch, and so we've always enjoyed a nice relationship here and actually sold a lot of homes. We are in 3 sections in Country Club East, and this is the Murano model, which is in the Carmargo section. Okay. Other golf course communities that we have are the Founders Club on Fruitville Road, and that is a spectacular property with oak hammocks, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of property, and I think it's really coming into its own as people are discovering it there. In addition, another golf course community is the Concessions, which is just a little further east from here. That's a Jack Nicklaus private course, beautiful, beautiful lots, large lots, 100 by 300 foot lots, and that's going to be new models are going to come out in about a year from now. We're in Central Park, which is a more price-sensitive but lovely property here on the ranch for families right across from Lakewood Ranch High School and by the Y, so the location is great, and really the families are really gravitating to that property. And then we also have a maintenance-free property down in North Venice on Laurel Road called Willow Chase, and that's doing real well. We're finishing out a few lots there too. And then in addition to that, we just signed up a place called Marshall's Landing, and that's off of 70 west of the interstate, but it's on the Braden River, and it really has that old Florida look. All the houses are on the water. You can have a dock, and for kayaking or boating, it's really a really special little enclave, which we think have high hopes for.
That's great. Yeah, some of those home sites in Marshall's Landing are actually gorgeous, right on the water, boatable in Marshall's Landing,
Every
right?
one of them, yes.
That's great.
Right.
So tell me about, I know you have a lot of different floor plans, and people can actually customize their floor plan with Lee Wetherington Homes, and in fact they can actually even build on their own lot, right?
Correct. Thank you for bringing that up. Part of our business has been to build our plans on their lot, and we have everything from east on large parcels, 5-10 acre tracts that people have, and then we even have some Siesta Key and Bird Key and the barrier islands. So we have the ability with the staff and in-house architecture to change plans, to do whatever the customer is looking to do, and that's been a big part of our business that's emerging. Currently we're sitting in the Murano model here in Country Club East, and this was our award winner. It swept the Parade of Homes in its category. It won everything, and so we're very proud of it. And we are going to take this home and do a Murano 2, a slightly bigger version in the concession.
Okay.
Because it's been so successful for us. We also have our Cerezo 2 and our new Sola Vita model, which are in other sections here in Country Club East. And those three plans really are really well accepted, and they are third and fourth generations of original plans that have been modified with a lot of things that people, our customers, have actually come up with. And we take the ideas that people come up with and we incorporate them into our plans and our thinking, and the plans evolve, and we think that by the third, fourth generation they're pretty good and people seem to like them.
Great. All right, last question. It seems like a lot of people say that one of the big features they really love with the Lee Wetherington home are the unique design features. So talk to me a little bit about those and what you think people or the market really likes the best about the little nuances that Lee Wetherington Homes does.
We've always called it the Lee Wetherington difference, and for years Lee has always been a design leader in the marketplace, and I think it's attention to detail. The ceilings, the tile patterns, the master bathroom, everything that we do, we put a lot of time and effort into. And currently, the outdoor-indoor aspects of the houses are really what most people are looking for. And so I think as we've expanded the outdoor living spaces with kitchens and TVs and fireplaces and all the fire pits, and all the things that are really fun, and then having our own pool company really helps bring the tie it together for the outside living, and we try to do that outside, inside, back and forth with our plans, and that's what really helps people.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For more information about Lee Wetherington Homes, you can check them out online at lwhomes.com. Welcome back. Now it's time to get real answers. Every week we'll welcome our legal guru here on Get Real Estate on the Suncoast. And today joining us is Casey Colburn, who is an attorney with the Economic Recovery Group, helping Florida businesses navigate the BP oil spill process.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being back on the show.
Glad to be here.
All right, we're going to go right into our questions. We have some great questions right from viewers for Casey, and the first one comes from Anne Marie.
Hi there, my name's Anne Marie Young and I'm from Sarasota, Florida. I was just wondering, is it possible for a seller to back out of a sales contract?
Well, Anne Marie, it's a question that comes up all the time. I'm going to give you the lawyer answer, which is it depends. First, you need to follow the terms outlined in the contract. That's going to tell you whether or not you can get out of a contract. So the first thing I would tell somebody is to review the contract with your lawyer. The contract's going to identify the reasons for which the buyer can cancel the contract and when the buyer may do so. These often involve like unsatisfactory home inspections or the inability to secure a mortgage. Simply changing your mind is not always a good reason, particularly later in the game. You know, in some cases, there is an ability to cancel a contract within 3 days of signing it. This is particularly important if you were out looking at a parade of homes, or you're going to open houses and you felt like you were pressured, or you just did it on a whim. There may be a right of rescission, but it's most important to think about these things first before you sign a contract. Sure. Also, look for contract violations. If there's something that the contract says is going to be provided by the seller or going to be done, or something about the property that isn't there, then that might provide an opportunity to get out of the contract. If it is possible to get out of the contract, especially after talking to your lawyer, make sure you get the contract termination in writing. Also, if you're working with a realtor, make sure that you get an acknowledgement from the realtor, because even if you were able to get out of the contract because the seller said it was okay, your realtor may still be entitled to a commission. So you want to make sure that you know that ahead of time before you keep moving on. Also, expect to lose your deposit depending on the timing. A lot of times when you sign a contract, there's going to be earnest money involved, and that's put into an escrow fund. So unless there's unforeseen conditions or something like misrepresentation or fraud, generally the contract provisions are going to govern.
All right, great. Some good get real advice. Our next question comes from Christine.
Hi, my name is Christine Alexander from Lakewood Ranch, and I rent an apartment, and on the lease it says that we pay $50 for normal wear and tear on any repairs, which is fine. Although while we were gone, the apartment was vandalized and the window was broken, and now the landlord wants me to pay for the entire window to be repaired. Is that cool? Because I don't think so.
Well, Christine, this show is entitled Get Real, okay? And for $50 to replace an entire window, it might be time to get real. Take that deal. Because, you know, seriously though, it sounds to me, if it's normal wear and tear, that she might have an argument that it's not her responsibility, particularly if it was vandalism. If she's at the end of the lease and it's $50 to pay for the window and she's moving on, really the answer is, I'm not even going to recommend she talk to a lawyer about this, because the cost of the first telephone call is going to exceed that $50. So if you can't argue to get the $50 back, Christine, it might be time to just get real and let it go.
One phone call is going to exceed $50, Casey?
Depends on who you're calling.
Right. Okay, great. That's some great advice. And our last question comes from Joey.
Hi, I'm Joey from Sarasota. My question is, if I signed a purchase agreement to buy a new home and I accept a job in another state, what am I liable for if I break the agreement?
Joey, if you signed a purchase agreement to purchase a new home, you're generally going to be working with a builder. Builder contracts generally favor the builder, and there's different kinds of them, so it's important to talk to a lawyer before you enter into one of those contracts, particularly if you don't have a job. In Joey's case, his taking a job out of state may provide an opportunity if there is a mortgage contingency, since he's probably not going to be able to get a mortgage to pay for this house. But always, it's important to think about those things when you're going into the contract. Sure. If you're not employed, you probably shouldn't be in the business. You probably should be signing a contract for a new house. But in any event, in a case like that, definitely talk to a lawyer.
Great. Always great advice from you, Casey. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Glad to be here.
All right, well, this has been Get Real Estate on the Suncoast. Join in on our conversation by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, and visit our website at getrealestate-suncoast.com. If you have a Get Real question for Casey, send us a video at getrealestateonthesuncoast@gmail.com, or you can always post it on our Facebook page, and we may use your question live on the air. Be sure to watch us next Thursday at 7 p.m. and from all of us here at the SNN Studios, have a great night.